Hello transport nerds and welcome back to Talking Planning. Having perused through my unreleased episode footage folder for a little while trying to come up with the next best review idea, I realised I was probably due for a Scania and Bustech review. So here it is. Transdev has a diverse bus fleet acquired through a history of mergers, acquisitions, and rebranding, and some of that history can be seen throughout this interior, thanks to the Connex branding on the seats. These Bustech-bodied L94UBs can be traced back to the Connex days, built in 2003 and 2004, fairly late in the production run of the classic Bustech body. Transdev also has a few similar-looking Mercedes-Benz 0405NH buses around Sydney, mostly around the city's southeast. Today's bus is 8261, a November 2003 build, and in this era, low-floor buses were instrumental in growing the accessible bus fleets around the country, finally representing the mass uptake of low-floor buses. It was in no small part that this era of low floors took accessible vehicles from a rare luxury for commuters, through to a much more common sight across the network. For the few Queenslanders among us watching this review, Park Ridge Transit and Westside Bus Company also ordered similar Bustech vehicles around this time, although they are seldom used in route service today. Back to the Sydney context, in mid-22, almost 2 decades after the introduction of these buses, there is still a small contingent of high floors in route service across Sydney, including at Transdev. Having recently attended a couple of workshops on inclusive transport design at the AITPM conference, a 100% accessible route service bus fleet really can't come soon enough. But it's only a first, although big, step towards more inclusive transport design. Inclusive design goes beyond just vehicles and stops, and it really needs to consider passive wayfinding and not just signage, along with lighting, and of course service frequency. What's important but a little less obvious is how we can make public transport easier for people to use, especially for those who rely on it most. And that might come down to initiatives such as family-friendly ticketing options, easy access to timetables and information in a wider range of languages, particularly of those who use the services, and of course understanding how cultural needs can be better considered to develop fully inclusive transport networks. Along with the QR codes and misplaced "Sit Here" stickers that became common during 2020 and 2021, Transdev has placed a film over some of the rear windows with a map of the bus route network. I really love this idea, as it's quite a unique way of helping people visualise the network. But as today's journey was a rail replacement service, it wasn't quite as helpful as it normally would be. So, what powers such a bus? I'm going to go out on a limb here and suggest that these are Euro 3 rated, with the Scania DC9 engine, with either 230 or 260 horsepower outputs. That sounds pretty much like what you'd expect in this era. And there's a ZF automatic and probably a 5-speed. So let's have a quick listen now. Looking round the interior further, there's a mix of old and modern, with the old style blue and yellow stop bell buttons, the round style stop lights, but there are also comfortable bench seats, much like the newer VST bodied models have. And like many older Bustechs, there's a rear mounted stoplight. With most of my time in Sydney nowadays spent there on weekends, catching older buses takes some planning and coordination. But a rail replacement weekend in December 2021 proved just the ticket to enjoy a ride on these older Bustech bodied Scanias again. Other fruits from that weekend trip included an ex-Brisbane Volvo B10M and a Volvo B10L, and I'll have those reviews linked so you can check out both a pioneering low floor and one of the ex-Brisbane classics. And with that, I'm almost at Eastwood, so let's jump off this bus as it continues on its way out. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you again soon.